Imagine waking up every day, opening your phone, and before you even start your work, your focus is already gone. Your attention is pulled in every direction. Messages, videos, news, notifications. Most people live like this, day after day. But a small group of people live differently. They can sit in silence, focus deeply, and produce results that seem impossible. This ability is not talent. It is not luck. It is a skill. And today, you will learn the core idea behind that skill. From the book, Deep Work, by Cal Newport. If you truly understand this concept, and apply it consistently, your productivity will increase. Your learning speed will multiply, and your value in the world will rise. Stay with me until the end, because the final insight can completely change the way you work forever. Part 1: What is deep work and why it is rare? Deep Work is written by Cal Newport, a professor at Georgetown University, and a researcher in focus and productivity. Deep work means working with full concentration on a task that requires deep thinking. It means no distractions, no multitasking, no switching between tasks. It is the opposite of shallow work. Shallow work is answering emails, checking social media, attending meetings without meaning, and staying busy without progress. In the book, Cal Newport shares the story of Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists in history. Jung built a small tower in the forest, far away from people, far away from noise, far away from interruptions. In that quiet place, he thought deeply, wrote deeply, and developed ideas that changed psychology forever. This shows something important. Great work requires deep focus. Now look at our modern world. Phones are always near us. Distractions are everywhere, and silence feels uncomfortable. Because of this, deep work is becoming rare. And when something is rare, it becomes valuable. Part 2: Why deep work creates success. Cal Newport explains that the modern economy rewards people who can do two things: learn complex skills quickly and produce high-quality results. Deep work is the key to both. A programmer who focuses deeply can master new technologies faster. A student who studies without distraction understands difficult subjects better and remembers them longer. A writer who works deeply creates powerful content instead of average words. In real life, you can see this everywhere. Two people work the same number of hours. One is distracted all day, switching between tasks. The other focuses deeply for a few intense hours. The second person always wins. Deep work compresses time. 1 hour of deep work is more powerful than 5 hours of distracted work. This is why being busy means nothing. Progress comes from focus, not from movement. Part 3: How to practice deep work daily. Cal Newport says, focus is like a muscle. If you do not train it, it becomes weak. If you train it, it becomes powerful. Start small. Choose one important task and give it your full attention. Remove distractions. Put the phone away. Close unnecessary tabs. Create a clear boundary between deep work and the rest of your day. Many successful people do this. Writers work early in the morning, when the world is quiet. Entrepreneurs block time only for thinking and strategy. Students study in silence, without background noise. The final message of the book is simple. Your future will be decided by your ability to focus. In a world that is addicted to distraction, focus becomes a superpower. And deep work is how you build that power. But here is something most people never realize. Deep work is not only about productivity. It is about meaning. When you work deeply, you feel satisfied. You feel proud. You feel connected to what you create. Shallow work feels empty. At the end of the day, you feel tired, but you did nothing important. Deep work feels different. Even if you work less hours, you feel fulfilled because you moved forward. Cal Newport explains that humans are wired to find meaning in challenging focused effort. This is why deep work does not just build success, it builds happiness. Now think about your own life. How many hours do you spend distracted? How many times do you switch tasks without finishing anything? This constant switching damages your brain. It makes focus painful and boredom unbearable. But deep work can reverse this. When you practice focus daily, your mind becomes calm. Your thoughts become clear. Your confidence grows. Your work improves. This is not theory. This is observable reality. People who practice deep work feel in control of their time. They are not slaves to notifications or algorithms. They decide what deserves their attention. And attention is your most valuable resource. Cal Newport gives one powerful warning. If you do not control your attention, someone else will. Social media companies, advertisers, and platforms are fighting for your focus. Every second you lose is profit for them. Deep work is resistance. It is choosing depth over noise. It is choosing creation over consumption. It is choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure. The book ends with a quiet truth. You do not need to do more. You need to focus better. Success is not about speed. It is about direction. And deep work gives you direction. So ask yourself, what could your life look like if you protected your focus? What could you build if you worked deeply every single day? In the end, deep work is not a technique. It is a philosophy, a choice to live intentionally in a distracted world. And those who make that choice will always stand apart. Deep work is not simply a habit. It is a way of operating in the world. When you choose depth, you choose to slow down, not because you are weak, but because you are intentional. Most people rush, not because they are busy, but because they are distracted. They confuse movement with progress, and noise with importance. Deep work breaks this illusion. Cal Newport explains that focus changes perception. Time feels different. Effort feels cleaner. Thoughts feel organized. When you work deeply, you are fully present. There is no split attention, no background anxiety. This presence is powerful. It allows you to see problems clearly. It allows you to connect ideas. It allows you to produce work that carries weight. This is why deep work creates leverage. One deeply focused hour can outperform an entire distracted day, not because of speed, but because of depth. Depth creates insight. Insight creates value. Most valuable ideas cannot survive interruptions. They need silence. They need patience. They need space. Cal Newport warns that constant distraction fragments the mind. Each interruption leaves residue. Each switch reduces clarity. Over time, this becomes your default state. Restless, reactive, scattered. Deep work reverses this pattern. It trains the mind to stay, to endure, to resolve. This training is uncomfortable at first. Your brain will resist. It will search for escape. It will crave stimulation. But this resistance is proof that something important is happening. Growth always feels demanding. As you persist, your tolerance increases. Focus lasts longer. Effort feels lighter. Silence feels normal. This is when depth becomes natural. At this stage, you no longer rely on motivation. You rely on structure. Cal Newport emphasizes rituals. Same place, same time, same intention. Rituals remove friction. They signal seriousness. When the mind recognizes structure, it enters focus faster. This is how professionals operate, not through inspiration, but through consistency. Deep work also changes self-image. You begin to see yourself as someone who finishes, someone who commits, someone who follows through. This identity shift is crucial because behavior follows identity. When you believe you are focused, you act focused. Over months, this compounds. Your skills sharpen. Your confidence stabilizes. Your output improves. People notice the results, even if they do not see the process. This is the hidden advantage of deep work. It is invisible while happening, but undeniable in outcomes. Cal Newport highlights an important contrast. Shallow work is loud. Deep work is quiet. Shallow work seeks attention. Deep work creates impact. Shallow work fills schedules. Deep work builds futures. The modern world rewards visibility, but depends on depth. Every system, every product, every breakthrough was built by someone working deeply. That opportunity still exists, but it is reserved for those willing to disconnect from constant stimulation. Deep work demands sacrifice. You sacrifice immediacy. You sacrifice comfort. You sacrifice constant novelty. In return, you gain clarity. You gain skill. You gain control. This trade is always worth it, because attention is finite. Where you invest it determines who you become. Cal Newport leaves us with a quiet challenge. Do not ask, how can I do more? Ask, what deserves my focus? When you answer that honestly, and protect it daily, your path becomes clear. Not fast, not easy, but meaningful. And meaning is what sustains effort. In the long run, deep work does not just improve performance. It builds a life centered on intention rather than reaction. In a world addicted to distraction, this choice alone sets you apart. Not loudly, not instantly, but permanently. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and feeling a sense of clarity. Your mind is quiet but alert. You know exactly what matters most today. You are not pulled by notifications, emails, or messages. You are not scrolling endlessly through social media. You are not overwhelmed by tasks you barely understand. Instead, you feel a quiet determination, a steady focus, a sense that today will move you closer to your goals. Picture yourself sitting at your desk or in your workspace without interruption. Your phone is silent. Your email is paused. There is no social media to check. The only thing that exists is the work in front of you. Your thoughts flow freely. You think deeply. You create solutions. You understand ideas faster. You see patterns more clearly than ever before. This is not a dream. This is a state anyone can reach. It is called deep work. But deep work is not just working. It is a deliberate choice. It is a way of being. It is a skill that needs to be trained. It is the ability to focus without distraction on tasks that push your abilities to their limits and create real value. Now let's bring this closer to reality. Consider a student facing a difficult subject. Instead of browsing the internet or checking their phone every 5 minutes, they isolate themselves for a few hours. They focus completely on one chapter, one problem, one concept. And by the end of that session, they understand more than their peers who spent the same hours distracted. Consider a writer trying to finish a book. They close the door. They remove every possible distraction. They focus on a single paragraph, sentence by sentence, word by word. The results are words with clarity, ideas with depth, insights that last. Or imagine a software engineer tackling a complex project. They block out all notifications. They dedicate uninterrupted hours. They solve problems that seem impossible to others. The work they produce is far beyond what could be achieved in a day of shallow tasks. This is the power of deep work, and it is available to you. If you make the choice to protect your attention, if you commit to focus, if you resist the endless temptation of distraction, because your mind naturally seeks comfort. It wants easy tasks. It wants novelty. It wants constant stimulation. And every time you give in, you lose a piece of your focus. Every time you get distracted, your ability to think deeply diminishes. But every time you resist, every time you sit and focus, your skill grows. Your mind becomes sharper. Your work becomes more valuable. Your results compound. Your identity begins to change. You see yourself as someone capable of finishing tasks, someone capable of producing high-quality work, someone who can master complexity. You become the person who achieves what others only dream about. This is why deep work is not optional. It is not an extra. It is the foundation of mastery and success. And it begins with one decision: to protect your attention, to dedicate time, to focus without compromise. This is the moment where your life can change. You must start small. You cannot force 8 hours of deep work from day one. Start with 1 hour. Choose the task that matters most. Break it down into the smallest meaningful step. Focus on that step until it is complete. Then take a short break. Repeat. The brain learns to focus gradually. Every session builds habit. Every session strengthens discipline. Every session compounds into mastery. Ritualize your deep work. Decide on a time. Decide on a place. Decide on a method. The most successful people create conditions that make focus inevitable. Some wake up early in the morning, when the world is still quiet. Some retreat to isolated spaces, far from distractions. Some block several hours a day for uninterrupted effort. You must do the same. Structure trains your mind. The more predictable your sessions are, the easier it becomes to enter deep work naturally. Eliminate distractions completely. Be ruthless with your attention. Put your phone away. Close unnecessary tabs. Turn off notifications. Tell everyone around you that this time is sacred. Protect your environment as if your success depends on it, because it does. Every distraction costs focus. Every interruption leaves residue. Every switch between tasks reduces clarity. Deep work is about reclaiming your attention and using it wisely. Deep work is not just about focus. It is about meaning. When you work deeply, you connect effort to purpose. You create work that matters. You feel satisfaction. You feel pride. You feel fulfillment. Unlike shallow work, that keeps you busy but leaves emptiness. Deep work transforms not only your output, but your inner experience. It teaches patience. It builds resilience. It cultivates discipline. It shows that hard effort can be beautiful and rewarding. Think of the software engineer who solves problems others cannot, because they focused for hours without interruption. Think of the writer who produces words with clarity and depth, because they shut out distractions. Think of the student who masters complex concepts quickly, because they studied in silence. Every one of these examples shows that deep work accelerates learning, creation, and achievement. You might think, this sounds hard. This sounds uncomfortable. It is. But discomfort is growth. Growth is never comfortable. Success is never easy. If you want to achieve more than average, if you want to rise above distraction, if you want to build skill and mastery, you must embrace this discomfort. You must choose focus, even when your mind resists. You must commit daily, even when it feels easier to do anything else. Measure your results. Deep work can feel invisible while it is happening, but its effects become obvious over time. Observe improvements in learning speed. Observe the clarity of your decisions. Observe the quality of your work. Observe the impact it has on others. The more you practice, the more natural and rewarding it becomes. Deep work changes not only your results, it changes your identity. You see yourself as capable of commitment. You see yourself as capable of finishing tasks. You see yourself as capable of producing work that matters. Daily life looks different for everyone, but the principle is the same. Protect time. Guard attention. Eliminate distractions. Create conditions where focus is inevitable. Whether coding, designing, writing, studying, or planning, deep work is the engine that powers excellence. Finally, deep work is about long-term vision, prioritizing depth over distraction, skill over speed, creation over consumption, making choices today that will define your abilities tomorrow. The practice is demanding, but the rewards are extraordinary. Focus, clarity, skill, mastery, identity, fulfillment, all grow from it. Those who commit to deep work produce work that matters. Think with clarity, live with intention, while others chase distraction. Those who protect attention build mastery over time. They shape their life. They influence their environment. They become irreplaceable, in ways that shallow work can never achieve. When you live by the habits of deep work, you begin to see time differently. Every hour becomes an opportunity to learn. Every task becomes an opportunity to master. Every minute becomes an investment in your future. You won't be perfect all the time. You will face resistance. You will feel fatigue. You will sometimes fail to follow through. But these moments are not losses. They are tests of patience. They are training for willpower. They are part of the journey toward excellence. Learn to face resistance with calm. Learn to step away from distractions. Learn to say no to what does not serve your goals. Because every yes to the unimportant steals your energy, steals your focus, steals your potential. Begin to think strategically, not just about the tasks of today, but about the person you want to become tomorrow. See your work as a process of building. Each focus session is a stone. Each deep hour is a foundation. And each day built on this foundation brings you closer to what you want to achieve. Learn to celebrate small progress. Do not underestimate the value of a single session. Do not underestimate the value of a small task. They are the building blocks of great achievement. In the end, deep work does not give you just one skill. It transforms your life entirely. A life full of capability. A life full of meaning. A life full of creativity. You will find yourself unable to return to the distracted way of living, to shallow work, to business without purpose, because you have discovered the secret of real success. Paying attention to what matters, focusing relentlessly, creating consistently. This is how mastery is built. This is how impact is made. This is how a meaningful life is lived.